video, I'm going to talk about the standard deviation of a data set. First, the vocabulary. Standard deviation is a statistic that measures the dispersion of a data set relative to its mean and is calculated as a square root of the variance. So our formulas, recall we have our sample variance, which in this case we'll talk about sample standard deviation, which we talk about as S. And recall that from our last video that in our sample variance that X bar was our mean and N was our number of observances. And S was just our sample variance. Also, we have mu, which when we talk about our population standard deviation is our mean. And we have sigma, which was for population variance. So essentially, in the sample standard deviation formula, we take the square root of the sum of each observance minus the mean quantity squared, and then divide by the total number of observances over 1. And then in our population variance, we do a similar thing where we find the sum of our each individual minus the mean squared, sum it, and then divide by the total number of observances. Example 1. Calculate the standard deviation of the following numbers, which represents a small population. So our numbers are 2, 7, 5, 6, 4, 2, 6, 3, 6, and 9. Our first step is to calculate the mean. So that means we add our 2 plus 7 plus 5 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3 plus 6 plus 9. Add that together and divide it by the total number of numbers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 numbers. So that means our mean is 5. So next step, we're going to use a similar method as last time and just use a table. So we're going to do 2 minus 5 to get negative 3. If we square it, that will be 9. 7 minus 2 would be 2. If we square it, that would be 4. 5 minus 5 is 0. Squared is 0. 6 minus 5 is 1. Squared is 1. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Squared is 1. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Squared is 9. 6 minus 5 is 1. Squared is 1. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Squared is 4. 6 minus 5 is 1. Squared is 1. And 9 minus 5 is 4. And square that, and that would be 16. Now, if we add our difference column up, we should get 0. Negative 3 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus negative 1 plus negative 3 plus 1 plus negative 2 plus 1 plus 4. And we got 0. So we did our arithmetic and calculated everything correctly. Now we're going to find our square of deviations. So that's going to be 9 plus 4 plus 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 16. When we add that all together, we get 46. And since we're talking about a population, our formula is going to be square root, since we already found our sum. is going to be square root of 46 divided by 10. So now 4, and we are done. Example 2. Find the standard deviation of a dolphin's height, treating them as a population. So our heights are 70, 71, 73, two 71s, 73, 74, 75, 78, 79, 79, and 80. We're going to add all those together, and recall we use the symbol mu to be our mean. So we add them 70 plus 71 plus 71 plus 73 plus 74 plus 75 plus 78 plus 79 plus 79 plus 80. We get a total of 750. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 dolphins. So that means our mean is 75. So next we're going to do each height subtracted by the mean. So it's going to be 70 minus 75, which is -5. -5 squared is 25. 71 minus 75 is -4. -4 squared is 16. We have 2 71, so we can just use that twice. 73 minus 75 is -2. -2 squared is 4. 74 minus 75 is -1. And -1 squared is 1. 75 minus 75 is 0. And 0 squared is 0. 78 minus 75 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 79 minus 75 is 4. We have that twice. And 4 squared is 16. And then 80 minus 75 is 5. And 5 squared is 25. So we just add, we add up our middle column, which is our deviation column. We should get 0. So we're going to add -5 plus -4 plus -4 plus -2 plus -1 plus 0 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5. And we get a total of 0. So we did our arithmetic correctly. So next, we're going to just add our squared deviations column up. That'll be 25 plus 16 plus 16 plus 4 plus 1 plus 0 plus 9 plus 16 plus 16 plus 25 for a total of 128. Now we find our standard deviation, which we use a sigma symbol. So our standard deviation will be the square root of 128 divided by 10, since we already want the population. So 128 divided by 10, the square root of that would be 3.58. So the standard deviation is 3.58 inches. And we're done. Example 3. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, 10 to 20 earthworms per cubic foot is a sign of healthy soil. Mr. Green checked the soil in his garden by digging 7 1-inch cubic holes and found the earthworms. He found the following counts: 4, 23, 15, 10, 8, 12, and 18. We're going to calculate the sample standard deviation in this example. So first up, we're going to find our mean. And since we're talking about a sample, we're going to be using X bar. So we have 4 plus 23 plus 15 plus 10 plus 8 plus 12 plus 18. They give me a total of 90. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 worms total we're talking about. So 90 divided by 7 is approximately 12.86. So now we subtract 4 minus 12.86. will be negative 8.86. And I am rounding, so we might not get a perfect 0 when we add in the end. 23 minus 12.86 is 10.14. 15 minus 12.86 is 2.14. 10 minus 12.86 is negative 2.86. 8 minus 12.86 is negative 4.86. 12 minus 12.86 is negative 0.86 or negative 0.86. And 18 minus 12.86 is 5.14. And negative, we have to square them. Let's add them first. Negative 8.86 plus 10.14 plus 2.14 plus negative 2.86 plus negative 4.86 plus negative 0.86 plus 5.14, and we get negative 0.12. Sorry, 0.2. So because I round it, it's not a perfect 0, but that is what we're expecting since we did round. So we're now square. Negative 8.86 squared is going to be 78.50. 10.14 squared is 102.82. 2.14 squared is 4.58. 2.86 squared, negative 2.86 squared is 8.18. 4.86 squared is 23.62. 0.86 squared is 0.74 or 0.74. 5.14 squared would be 26.42. Now we just add that last column. 78.5 plus 102.82 plus 4.58 plus 8.18 plus 23.62 plus 0.74 plus 26.42. We add together, we get 244.86. Since we're talking about a sample standard deviation, we're going to use S equals square root of 244.86 all over 7 minus 1. Recall the formula above where we just used n minus 1. So now we just simplify that. So that would be 244.86 divided by 6. And we're going to take a square root. And we have a standard deviation of 6.38 or 6.38 worms. And we're done.